All right, you guys. So we are going to go ahead and go through the parenteral, whatever, IV medications for the ATI Med Math modules. Um, so these are when the questions start getting a little bit trickier. You're probably going to see your first questions for IV drips and everything um, during your Med Math 2 test. So if you're about to take that test, this one is really good to go over. I'm sorry if you can hear that clinking in the background. That's my wine glass. Don't worry about it. Okay, so let's go ahead and go through this question. Um, a nurse is preparing to administer NaCl 1 liter to infuse over 5 hours. The nurse should set the IV pump to deliver how many mLs per hour. So what they're asking for is ml per hour. So if you look at the question, there's literally only two numbers that it gives you. 1 liter per 5 hours. So obviously they're asking for an ml, so we need to change the liter to milliliter. And if you remember this simple conversion, if you've never done this one before, go watch my simple conversion video. It's a life changer. It's really, really easy and really helpful. Go watch that first. So we're just changing 1 liter to milliliters. So we're going 1, 2, 3. That means we're just moving the decimal point 3 times. So it's 1,000 ml. So if you look at this, you always attach the numbers that are together. So liters, it says 1 liter to infuse over 5 hours. So we change that to ml. So it's 1,000 ml per 5 hours. And if you look at the way it's asking you, they want ml per hour. So obviously they want it per 1 hour. So you're just dividing that 1,000 by 5. So if you look at your calculator, 1,000 divided by 5 equals 200. So like I said, you're just dividing that 1,000 by 5 because it says ml over hour, and we already have that. So let's see if that 200 is right. And yes, that's the correct answer. All right, let's look at this next one. So the most important thing is to see how they want the answer. So let's look at that. It looks like they want ml per hour. So let's read it. Nurse is preparing to administer ceftriaxone 2 grams by intermittent IV bolus every 24 hours. Available is 2 grams in 100 mLs. You don't need to worry about this dextrose 5%. That's just telling you what the mLs is. And then to infuse over 30 minutes. I'm just circling the big important numbers. The nurse should set the IV pump to deliver how many ml per hour. So what you want to do for this question, it gives you a lot of information. You want to start off by what's this first thing that they're asking for right here, ml. What's that? There's the numerator. So you want to look for the ml in the equation. So if you look at all the things that we circled, we have 100 ml. Wow, I have terrible handwriting. So we have 100 ml, and we're putting that on top because that's what they're asking for on top right there. Let me erase that. All right. And then it says 100 ml to infuse over 30 minutes. And look, they're asking for time on the bottom, an hour. Let me go ahead and write that again. Sorry, it's been a while since I've made one of these videos. So 100 ml over 30 minutes. So obviously they're asking for it in an hour. So if you're able just to do it in your head, 30 minutes plus 30 minutes is an hour. So you're multiplying the 30 minutes by 2. So you just need to multiply the 100 by 2. So you would get 200. But to make it a little bit more thought out so you can work through it, if you're doing this train track method, which I think is the easiest way, we'll go through it a little bit more in the other problems. You always have to cross cancel when you're going up. So you're either going to do 1 minute or the equivalent to an hour is 60 minutes. So we're going to put 60 minutes right here, and 60 minutes is equivalent to 1 hour. You just want to make sure the conversion, the factor is the same. So let's see if this works out. So what you want to do for the train track method is you're going to multiply everything on the top. You're going to go all the way across and then divide by everything on the bottom. So we're going to do 100 times 60, and then we're going to the bottom, divided by 30, and then divided by 1, and that equals 200. So obviously it depends which way you want to do it, but that's up to you. So let's go ahead and go to the next one. And yeah, 200 is the right answer. Okay. I need to slow down on the wine. Okay. Okay. So this is asking for ml per hour. So ml per hour. So honestly, let's just go through here and let's just circle the big numbers. So we have 300 milligrams, 8 hours. You don't even need to read it much of the time. Obviously, always read it. Just go ahead and go through the numbers first. Another 300 milligrams. You don't need to care about the 0.9% sodium chloride. Only the 50 ml is what we care about. And then 45 minutes. So what are they asking for? ml per hour. So we're looking for that numerator first. And right there, which is our ml. So let's find where we have ml in here. And we have it right there, 50 ml. And it's for 45 minutes. And then obviously they're asking for it in hours. So let's go ahead and convert these minutes to hours. So like we did in the last question, 45 minutes, and then we have 60 minutes. We just want to make sure the minutes are the same because there's 60 minutes and 1 hour. And now if you look at it, we have ml over hour. So let's go ahead and do that math. We have multiply across the top and then divide by the bottom. So 50 times 60, and then divided by 45, and then divided by 1. And that equals 66.6666666 Satan. But if you look at how they're asking it, it says round the answer to the nearest whole number. So if you round that, you're going to get 67 because all of these round each other up. So that'll be 67. Let's make sure that's the answer. And yes, that's correct. All right, I think we're going to start getting into some of the harder ones. I'm hoping so. So let's see what we got here. So a nurse is preparing to administer clindamycin 900 milligrams. Circle that. By IV bolus over 45 minutes. Available is clindamycin 900 milligrams in 100 ml. The nurse should set the IV pump to deliver how many mLs per hour. So again, we want ml per hour. So we're looking for that first part of the fraction, which is ml, and it looks like we got it right here. So you have 100 ml, and it says it's every 45 minutes. So if you come over here, because now we're looking for the time, and it says hour, which is time. Sorry, my brain's not working, which is 45 minutes. There's a really long way to do this because technically as you can see, this 100 isn't connected to the 45 over here. It's connected to the 900. So let's do it the long way really quick. So if we do 100 ml, that's connected to the 900 milligrams. And then let's continue the train tracks. Since we have milligrams right here, we need a milligram up here. And the only other milligram is this 900 right here. So 900 milligrams. And this one is connected to the 45 minutes because it says 900 milligrams of IV bolus for 45 minutes. So then that 900 milligrams is per 45 minutes. But now we gotta keep going because 45 minutes still isn't an hour. So we're gonna go up to another 60 minutes because this minute, they need to both be minutes. And then 60 minutes is equivalent to 1 hour. So if you look now we have ml over hour, which is what they're asking for. So let's go ahead and do that math. This is a longer one. All right. So we have, remember, we're multiplying by the top and then dividing by the bottom. So we have 100 times 900 times 60 divided by 900 divided by 45 divided by 1. And that comes out to be 133.33. Okay, I can't write. 0.333. So now let's do it the short way and see if we can come up with the same answer. I hope we do. This would be embarrassing. All right. So they're asking for mLs over time. So like I said, we had that 100 ml over time. The only time we have in here is 45 minutes. So, but we need to change that minutes to an hour. And there is 60 minutes in 1 hour. So now we have ml over hour. So let's do that math really quick. Multiply across the top, divide by the bottom. So 100 times 60 divided by 45 divided by 1. And we get the same answer, which is 133.333. And it says round to the nearest whole number. And that's lower than 5, so our answer is 133. Let's make sure that's the right answer. And yes, it is. Okay, so let's go to the next question. I think this one's pretty similar, so let's go through it pretty quick. Asking for ml over hour again. So let's go through there and let's look where we find some milliliters in this problem. Go ahead and read through it. We have 80 milligrams every 12 hours, and then 80 milligrams per 100 ml to infuse over 15 minutes. So that's obviously where our ml is. So we have 100 ml, and that's connected to the 15 minutes. And you're like, well, why aren't we using the 12 hours over here? Well, that is how many we're giving 80 milligrams in that 12 hours. But right now we only care about the ml because that's what they're asking for in the answer. So we only care about this 100 ml for the 15 minutes. And so they're asking for it in an hour. So we have it in 15 minutes. So we're just converting that minutes to an hour. So we have 60 minutes per 1 hour. So I want to make sure those minutes match up right here. And let's do that math really quick. Let me pull out my handy dandy calculator. So multiply across the top, 100 times 60, and then divide by the bottom. Divided by 15, divided by 1, and that equals 400. And we have that they're asking for it in ml over hour, and we have ml over hour. So let's make sure that's right. And yes, it's 400. Okay, so now we're getting into the harder questions. So I'm going to do one right now, and then I'll do the rest of them in part 2. So let's go ahead and go over this. I think this is one of the easier ones. So GTT, right here in the answer, is the drop factor. I don't know idea what GTT stands for. Don't worry about it. So asking, this is the same way we're doing all of the other problems. They're asking for GTT per minute. So instead of ml, it's GTT. So go ahead and read through this question. A nurse is preparing to administer NaCl 500 milliliters to infuse over 2 hours. And the drop factor is 10 GTT per ml. And this is where it gets a little tricky. So all we need to start off with is we need to find the GTT because that's the start of the start of the equation. So the only thing we have right here is our 10 GT. So we have 10 GTT, and it says per ml. So we can't just forget about that ml. So we can just put 1 because it's equivalent to just 1 ml. Now, remember since we have an ml right here, we have to keep an ml up here. And if you look at the rest of the equation, we have another ml in here. So let's go ahead and put our 500 right there. Don't go back. ml. And let's see if this 500 ml is connected to anything. It says to infuse over 2 hours. So that means our 500 is connected to this 2 hours. If you look at our answer though, they're wanting it in minutes. So we just have to convert our 2 hours to minutes. And like our other problems we did before, it was minutes to hours. So now we're just going backwards. So we know that 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes because we have an hour here, so we need an hour here. So let's go ahead and do that math. So remember, we multiply across the top. So 10 times 500 times 1 divided by 1 divided by 2 and divided by 60. And that equals 41.66666. So how are they asking for the answer? Let's see. It says round the answer to the nearest whole number. So obviously the 6 is greater than a 5. So that's going to round up to 42 right here. So let's go ahead and make sure that answer is right. I'm sure you're like, what the hell did you just do? That was a lot of information. But in the next video, there's going to be a lot more problems like this. So let's make sure 42 is the right answer. And yes, it is. All right, so go ahead and stay tuned. I'm going to post that second video and